Hello from the Dukascopy TV studio in Geneva. We are talking about investments in the Arab region with Mr. Ahmed Al-Jaibaji from Arab Swiss Consulting in Zurich, Switzerland. Mr. Al-Jaibaji, welcome to the studio.
Thank you for the invitations.
So there we are actually in a time of political turmoil, great instability in the Arabic region. So why should investors currently invest in the Arab region?
You know, we normally divided the Arab region to 4 regions. You know, we have the Gulf regions, and we have the Middle East, which actually means Iraq, Syria, and Egypt, and we have the North African region. And if we go to the Gulf region, which is very exciting and very interesting for investor, because they have a lot of oil and they really have a lot of even oil reserve and high liquidity, make them very easy to invest. And this region is 100% very stable, and there is no fears that something wrong will happen there. If we just look, yesterday the FIFA had decided that the European World football will take place in Qatar, and there is no discussion. Even because of the weather, they move it from summer to winter. So this region is 100% stable. And if we look to the Formula One, we have every year two runs in Qatar and Abu Dhabi and in Bahrain. So the region actually is very stable. So investing there, it's really very attractive. And we recommend really a lot of, especially European company, to go to the Gulf region. If we speak about the North African region, this is a little bit dangerous. Libya is in very difficult situations now. And now this problem will move to Tunisia, to Algeria, and to Morocco. So this is another region where it's not very stable. In the Middle East, Egypt is making progress. Iraq is still very difficult, but there is hope that things will get better with the time, because Iraq have a lot of oil and even belong to the rich countries.
Mm-hmm. So how is the low oil price currently impacting investments and also the economy in the Arab countries?
In the Arab country, actually for the Gulf region, don't impact it any kind, because they have a lot of liquidity and high reserves. If we take Saudi Arabia, they have almost $300 billion as a reserve. So if even they got with the price under 40 for 3 years, so they don't suffer from these prices. So the Gulf region itself don't suffer. But we have 2 countries actually which really suffer. This is Iran and Iraq from this price. For the Gulf regions just to block Iran to influence the regions, the Gulf regions and the Middle East with its politics, it's very important, because Iran is responsible for a lot of instability in these regions. We see it now in Yemen, working very badly, in Syria and Lebanon too. In Iraq, it's responsible for this instability. So the Gulf region would like to see stability and not anymore this big influence in political point of view from Iran in this region.
So to be successful in the Saudi Arab countries, so what do you actually advise businesses to do? So what's the best approach?
You know, the first things, you should really be patient, because a lot of companies comes and would like to be successful in 1 month or 1 year, or even less than 1 year. For expansions in this country, you need no less than 5 years. And at the same time, you should learn how to deal with these cultures. You know, intercultural management is something very important. A lot of companies in Europe don't have this knowledge, and their knowledge comes either from Europe or from the US. And now they have concentrated with a new culture, Indian, even Chinese and Arab world, and this make it not very easy, and even that make him not very sure what he's doing is correct. And so he try to avoid sometimes these regions, which is actually bad. And so actually cross-cultural management, something that a lot of companies should learn how to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. So now our television studio is here in Switzerland. So of course the Western approach to go to Arab countries is also often to demand more democracy and also human rights. This is an issue. So actually, how big is your hope that like a common trade could improve the situation, and what do maybe politicians and also businessmen have to bear in mind?
You know, from the let's go to the political and democracy. Democracy don't work in the Middle East and Arab countries. We should really step away from these ideas of exporting American and European democracy to these regions, because these regions function totally different. And even if we bring democracy, that's what the US done in Iraq. They destroyed the whole country, and we don't have democracy, and we have now really a situation, a very, very bad situation. To the issue of human rights, this take a lot of times. You cannot solve the human rights questions in 1 year or 2 years. This takes a century, sometimes 10 years, 20 years, and should be step by steps. You cannot solve it in like I said, in 1 year. This is things that should European even be careful when they speak about human rights, because sometimes they don't understand how these peoples function, and this is something for Europeans, they don't understand it, and they don't really want it in this way. But sometimes we have to accept these countries as they are.
For the long run, there is some hope that trade will also lead to a development. Do you agree to this?
For sure, because all these countries would like to have a good relationships in Europe or in the world, and they can only have a good relations and good business with these countries only if they change their systems and they make this system comportable to the other countries, actually the Western countries, and this is something very important. But they are working hard, but don't expect that this will take 1 year or 2 years. It takes about 10, maybe 20 years to achieve a small steps forward. And this is something, even sometimes when it's small steps, but it's already enough. It's already a lot.
And also the Arab region is making progress and looks for growth. And Arab Swiss Consulting is actually giving support and services to companies in Switzerland, in Europe, that would like to invest there. What regions are you currently focusing at?
Actually, Qatar is one of the most important countries now. Qatar is getting the World Football in 2022. Saudi Arabia are very interesting because of their population. They have a very high population and they are a very wealthy land. Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, Oman. Iraq is very interesting too, but only because of this war that we're going there. We should wait a little bit, but it is really very, very important.
Ahmed Al-Jaibaji from Arab Swiss Consulting in Zurich, Switzerland. Thank you very much for being here and sharing your expertise with us.
Thank you for the invitations again.
And thanks for watching. Do make sure to keep clicking back on the Dukascopy TV website for latest updates and exclusive interviews. Have a great day and see you next time.